Thank you all so much for joining this, our third Eventbrite Marketing Masterclass. It is planned exclusively for our top creators. And these sessions are truly to help take a deeper dive into tools and make you the absolute marketing masters of Eventbrite. So today is a special session. We'll be going through the launch of our TikTok Anchor integration. We'll talk about our new consumer app, and we've got lots of awesome video content creation tips for everyone. So just to quickly introduce, we have Jeffrey Zhu, who is our Senior Product Manager, Brad McIntyre, who's our Senior Group Manager of Creator Product Marketing, and we have Justin Dersham, who's our Video Production Lead, and they will all be helping present some of the information we have, as well as answering questions and making sure everyone's up to date on everything and walks away just being marketing masters. So without further ado, we will get started and make sure everything's working here. Quick insight into our topics today. So we're going to kick things off with our TikTok integration. It might be familiar to some of you, it may be new, some of you may already be using it, but we're going to take a little bit closer look into the actual setup of the TikTok integration so you can start to utilize this in your marketing strategies. We're going to show you an inside look into our new consumer app coming soon, and we're going to wrap up with some tips on creating engaging video content to help utilize the various video production promotional opportunities that we have. So, sell tickets on TikTok. Like I said, this is not necessarily new to everyone here, and those who attended our Innovating for Growth webinar may see some familiar information, but we want to make sure that everybody is aware of our new amazing integration with TikTok so that you can sell your tickets directly on TikTok and social media. So this feature lets you add Eventbrite links directly to your TikTok videos so attendees can explore your event details and buy tickets without leaving the app. So we're going to show you exactly what that looks like for you as the event creator, what that means, and then we'll take a look at the attendee side as well. So for those of you new to this integration, you can now amplify your reach as TikTok viewers can discover your events and explore event details directly from their For You page. Plus, when you add multiple event links to your video, TikTok users will be shown the most relevant based on their location. With the ticket link anchored into the video, TikTok users can seamlessly purchase tickets from the video in just a few clicks without having to leave the app or visit a link in your bio, which will ultimately help you sell more tickets. And then it allows everyone to get social. So anyone, including your attendees and event sponsors, can add your event link to their own videos to help you promote. So also with the click of a button, TikTok users can share that event detail with TikTok and other various forms like text and social. So really it takes a lot of the work off of you as the event creator and allows you to get other people involved. So think about working with influencers or venues or promoters, and they can share this for you. And all of the events are available to search within TikTok. So it's not something that only you have access to, everyone has access to that. So adding event links to TikTok is super simple. So we've created kind of a little side-by-side video tutorial here if you haven't used it. Once you tap add link when creating videos, search for your events by the event name, select them. Your links will then appear above your video caption and pinned in the comments. So TikTok Anchor is available wherever TikTok is available. You can add more than one event to any TikTok and in different cities. And for recurring events right now, you'll need to select the specific date instance, but we are working on a capability to select an entire recurring event in the future. Just to be clear, this event link that you add to, you create your video, you add all your content, you edit your music and everything, and then before you post, you'll be able to add your link. So that's where that add link option is to access Eventbrite. A couple other important call outs. Only publicly listed events are available on TikTok. So if you have any events that are private, you cannot find those on TikTok. The event must be paid and happening within 90 days or 180 days if it's a music event. Online events are not available. So if you are hosting an online event, can't find it, that is why. And if you're having issues accessing the Eventbrite button where you add the link option, make sure that you update your app. You might need to restart your app, close it out, open it back up, and then you should see that link pop up. It took me a couple times, so just make sure everything's up to date, and you should be fine. It's super easy to access that information. And now let's take a look from how it works on attendee side. Adding their ticket anchor makes the tickets obviously very easy to buy. They can view your event page, explore details directly from their For You page. So if you have multiple events linked, they'll see the most relevant ones based on their location. So TikTok users can then buy the tickets without leaving the app, which of course helps increase your purchase conversions. So just when you're thinking about how to utilize this, I already kind of mentioned, but posting your own videos, including the links to your own events, of course, but also get others involved, having other people promote on your behalf, take some of the work off of your own plate. But then also think of TikTok beyond just the posting of your upcoming events. And when we get into our video creation tips in the end, it'll help with, engaging your community ongoing beyond just promoting your own events, but recapping your events with videos, continuing to engage with your community, keep them entertained, keep them up to date with what's going on, make them jealous if they haven't come to your event yet, and you'll remain top of mind. So when they see that next event with your event link, they're more inclined to obviously purchase tickets to your event. So we'll get into the tips and tricks on creating that content, but just a few ways to start thinking about TikTok as you integrate that into your marketing plans. So with that, we are moving on to our Eventbrite app, and I'm going to pass it over to Brad, who's going to take us through everything you need to know about our upcoming Eventbrite app.
Awesome. Thanks, Katie. Hi, everyone. My name is Brad McIntyre. I am based out of San Francisco and sit on Eventbrite's product marketing team. I'm excited to talk through today and just give a bit of a preview to some updates that we're making to Eventbrite's consumer app. And so really what this is about is reimagining the event discovery experience for consumers and really looking to align the content and the formatting of the app and the content that you're able to feature on the app with other platforms that you're already using, particularly other social media platforms. And so really showcasing bigger, bolder, richer content and really helping consumers to picture themselves at your event, visualize themselves at the event. And the hope there obviously is that the more they can kind of do that, the more likely they are to buy a ticket. And so we're really making some optimizations to that experience to help you sell more tickets, simplifying listing pages on the app, streamlining checkout. And so we're excited to dig in today and to share a little bit about what that will look like. If you were at the innovation webinar last week, some of this content may be familiar and some of it is going to be new. Once I'm done walking through this, I'm going to hand off to Justin, who's going to double click and sort of deep dive into video content specifically, which we're excited about. Next slide, please. Cool. So there's sort of two key things I wanted to highlight up front around the updates that we're making to the app. The first is really around inspiration and built to inspire. And what this means is we have designed the updates to the app really to inspire consumers to get out of the house and connect in real life with the things that they are passionate about. And so our job is really to connect them with the things that they love and the events that they are most interested in, and really capture their attention with a highly curated experience. And then from your perspective, it's really about helping you to reach, engage, and really convert more consumers to customers. Next slide, please. And so when we talk about that, converting a browser or a consumer into a customer, the other part of the app is really around engagement. And so once you've sort of captured that attention and you consumer is inspired and is connected with the things that they're most interested in on the app, we really want to grab their attention and convince them that your event is something that they should go to. And so this is really all about the listing and the event page and what we enable you to showcase on that page. And so we're really designing this update to the app to help you better showcase your brand, and ultimately it's about selling more tickets. Next slide. So I'm going to run through just a few points here on the consumer experience and also consumer behavior that we see related to our app right now. And so the next few slides are going to show some mock-ups of the new app experience and also just talk through what we see consumers doing on our app currently. And really, based on what we understand and see consumers doing, how are we evolving the app experience to make it better? And so from a search perspective, people that are downloading and using the Eventbrite consumer app, we see a really high percentage of them, searching for events nearby. So 84% of users are using our app to search for nearby events. Next slide. And a really high percentage of them as well are direct searching. And so they're not just kind of browsing a category, they're actually coming to the app with something in mind and entering a specific search term. And so when we see this behavior, it's obviously super critical that we have a relevant experience for them, and the options that we're presenting to them as they search through the app are intimately and tightly connected to what they're looking for. Next slide, please. And so we also see a really high percentage of our users just browsing events. And so we are endeavoring to ensure that when they are in that browsing experience, the events that we are surfacing to them are based on information about what we think they're interested in, and ensuring that that top pick that we present to them and also the other events that are available just through browsing on the app are highly relevant. The content and the way that those events are presented to them are incredibly engaging and just make it easier for them to see themselves at that event and ultimately, hopefully, buy a ticket. Next slide. And then the final piece I wanted to touch on before we kind of summarize the overall experience is really around this idea of social connection and sharing. And so we're introducing some new tools to the app and new functionality for consumers to really help them not only connect with the events that they love, but also connect with other people and the people that they might be going to those events with. And so we already see today a high number of consumers sharing events. So they're going through that search or that browse experience, finding something they like, and then they're sharing that event with the people that they would want to go to the event with. And so as we look forward to the new or the updated app, excuse me, really looking to lean in more to that dynamic and ensure that we are making it a much more social experience before people come to your event, enabling them to connect with the people that they're attending with in the app. Next slide, please. So if we bring all of that together, this is really about us reimagining that discovery experience and also making it as easy as possible for consumers, once they've found an event that they love, to buy a ticket and then also just to engage with other people that they might be going to that event with. And so all the way through from that discovery experience that we've touched on, enabling them to easily save events that they're interested in, to connect with hand-selected, curated events through what we're calling guides, and then through to ensuring that their ticket is easy to access in the app, that they have a profile that they can update and connect with other users of the app through, that they can connect with the organizers that they follow through that app. And then ultimately, as I've touched on, ensuring that whenever they're engaging with a listing on the app, that it's incredibly dynamic experience and is really gives them a sense of what that event is going to be all about. Next slide, please. So we wanted to dig into one specific feature that's coming in the fall, and this is the ability to upload a video to your event listing. And so this is a preview of what this will look like in the app if someone clicks through onto a video that you upload. The key here is we're really looking to sort of standardize the content formatting and ensure that it aligns with other platforms that you might be using, for example, Instagram Reels. And so if you're already using that to post content and video content to promote your event, that content will kind of port over really nicely into your Eventbrite listing and will display in a full screen on a mobile device for a consumer who's using our app. And so this is really about optimizing the listings for the mobile experience, but also optimizing for what consumers expect. They're obviously incredibly active users of different platforms where video content is standard, and so we're excited to have this added to the Eventbrite platform. I should call out that some of you may be currently using our video embed feature. And so this will be slightly different to that in that this is actually uploading the content directly to your listing as opposed to linking to YouTube, for example, and streaming the content from there. And so it's a slightly different experience, and you'll be hearing more about how the event create flow will be updated to accommodate this in the coming weeks. Next slide, please. And the final slide that I wanted to talk through is just giving a sense of how this video will show up on different surfaces in the app. And so you see here, we have the homepage, if someone clicks through to the listing, and then if someone actually clicks on the video. And so this dynamic video content will display and kind of default as the primary visual that people will see when they're engaging with your listing. And you can just see a really I think simplified but compelling experience for consumers as they're trying to understand more about what your event is all about. So I'm going to pause there, and I'm going to transition and hand off to Justin, who's going to talk in a lot more detail about video best practices, and obviously with both TikTok in mind, but also with this upcoming addition to the Eventbrite platform of how you can best utilize video to promote your events.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Justin Dersham, I'm the video lead for Eventbrite, and I'm going to walk you through some tips and tricks to creating engaging and dynamic videos, as Brad said, for TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts. If we can go to the next slide. So wanted to start with this concept, which is kind of my absolute favorite within video, which is content over form. So we can easily get lost trying to make something that's so perfectly lit or perfectly composed or on the highest quality camera, but truly the content that you capture is much more important, especially in this day of social media, than the form it was actually captured in. So the moment doesn't really matter unless you get the shot, and the quality and the way it was captured won't usually be remembered as much as the moment itself. So next I want to get into some framework for a great social media video. This is like one of the most commonly used frameworks that's out there. And this is the Hook-Value-CTA Framework. So if you've created videos for social, or if you've watched social media videos, you've probably seen some that have been in this framework. But essentially, I'm going to walk you through what these actually mean so you can understand it a little bit better. So we start with the hook. And essentially, the hook is the most important part of the video. Since everything's really competitive in social media, you really have 2 to 3 seconds of a viewer's attention before they swipe away or move on to something else. So a hook could be a quick cut montage, or it could be a question that you pose that brings intrigue. In this example, the hook is essentially saying you're going to see 3 days of a setup in 30 seconds. So that's enough to kind of draw you in and make you think, oh, I'd like to see the rest of that. So creativity is your friend in this case, and there's plenty of resources on what great hooks are or examples of that you can find online, but I would suggest starting there. And moving on, we have value. So value is essentially the body of your messaging. So this is the place to answer the question from the hook, or this is the place to show your event that you're trying to promote. It's essentially the place for the messaging of what you want to tell. And then finally, we have the call to action. So the CTA, this is the place where you actually want to convert your audience to purchase tickets or get them motivated in whatever way you need. So this is the spot to put the in-app links or to give the viewer all the information that they need and really cement your messaging. So pretty much everything you're doing in the hook and the value is trying to keep the viewer engaged to get to the call to action. So now we're going to walk through some tips for content optimization. And this is like kind of mainly for TikTok, but a lot of it is sort of the same language. So the first is being authentic. So users really want to see relatable and authentic content that they can connect with. So the more real and human you come across, or that the video is, the more traction it'll likely get. And then next is grabbing attention. So we talked about this real quickly, but 2 to 3 seconds is no time at all. I know that when I'm on social media, it's hard to keep my attention. So essentially, you're just trying to create a moment that brings them in and makes them want to stick around. Another tip here is keywords. So keywords are essential for the algorithm, and it really helps users find you more easily. So with the rise of TikTok as an SEO engine, using the right keywords is more important than ever in order to get your audience to find you. Next tip is captions. So this is a really big one. 70 to 80% of users watch videos with the sound off. So if you're speaking, it's imperative that you add auto-generated captions so your audience can actually see what you're saying and understand your messaging. The next bit of advice is trends. And so trends really, if you can find the right trend at the right time, you can really boost visibility and engagement. So it requires a bit more work in order to kind of stay on top of these things. But if you do have a good moment, whether it's a dance trend or girl dinner, as you see here, those kind of things really keep it relevant and help you get traction on the videos. And then finally, we have cadence. So posting regularly can really set expectations for your audience. And so it can actually grow your audience as well. So regularly posting, whatever cadence that is, you can find resources online of best cadences, best times to be posting. Paying attention to that kind of thing can really help you grow your audience and help them come to expect great content from your channel. And so now I'm just going to go through some tips for capturing event footage. So one of the biggest things, in my opinion, is planning ahead. So considering making a shot list and planning your event and what you want to shoot from the beginning, in the middle, and the end. So kind of setting yourself up for success in the edit and making sure that you're capturing all those moments. And then that leads into visual variety, which is capturing your event from any angle you can think of. Also differing focal lengths. So if you're using an iPhone or an actual camera, using different lenses, so wide shots and tight shots, and then using a combination of static shots as well as camera movement can really help as well. So pushing in or pulling out or tilting or panning, those things are really going to help in an edit and also help to keep these videos really visually dynamic. Shot length is the next thing. So planning out the moments within the shot to be 2 to 3 seconds. Generally, that's going to be like your editing cut time. So even if you are taking a longer shot than that, knowing that the 2 to 3 second piece is what you're going to want out of that. And then panning or tilting the camera. If you're doing a big pan or tilt, you want to keep that to like 4 or 5 seconds. We've all seen like a panning shot that just goes on forever. And those can be kind of hard to edit in. So just paying attention to that if you're shooting the event yourself. And then sound, if you're recording audio for a voiceover, paying attention to the room you're recording it in, not being in a super echoey place or a place that has a lot of background noise. And then consider using an external microphone, which there's a lot of microphones out there that can just plug right into your phone. So that's another consideration to make sure you're getting really clean audio. And then just some final tips here. Capture the activity. So capturing active moments will help exude authenticity, and it showcases people fully engaged in their passions. So your event video should highlight the natural enthusiasm and involvement of the participants, and it should reflect the true nature of the experience. And then lastly, capture the dynamic. So candid moments reveal the authentic group dynamics, energy, and emotion of attendees, offering a genuine snapshot of your event. So focusing on capturing spontaneous interactions and vibrant expressions, and avoid overly staged and overly posed shots. So again, touching back to what we said before, the more dynamic and real it is, the better the result is. So hopefully those have been some quick, helpful tips, and I'll pass it back to Katie.